Flagship smartphones are not always affordable, but they do represent the best the market can offer. Samsung and LG are both ushering in new standards in smartphone design, while Sony took a leap towards better slow-motion video recording. Today we are going to compare the three new flagships: Sony Xperia XZs that costs 49,990 rupees, the LG G6 that costs 51,990 rupees, and the Samsung Galaxy S8 that costs 59,900 rupees. In terms of looks, there is no doubt about the fact that Samsung S8 is indeed the most beautiful smartphone this year. But this does not mean that the LG G6 and the Xperia XZs look ugly. Sony retained last year's design language, but that just means it is still a good design. Looks-wise, Samsung's curved glass back and curved display give it a distinctive look and feel. Combined with great ergonomics, the phone looks and feels really good. When it comes to durability, the glass design on the G6 and the Samsung S8 will surely cause issues. Metal on the Sony Xperia XZs will take scratches when dropped, but glass will break. And that makes the Xperia XZs more durable than the other two. Between the Galaxy S8 and the LG G6, the latter offers a more sturdy feel with its metallic frame. While it feels sturdier, we just can't ignore that glass on both sides makes both smartphones decidedly precarious, especially when you are shelling out over half a lakh rupees on each one of them. According to our tests, the Galaxy S8 produced the highest luminance readings of 775 lux, while the LG G6 and the Sony Xperia XZs returned readings of 702 and 705 lux, respectively. On paper, that makes the Galaxy S8 the brightest among the three, although the difference will barely matter in real-world terms. On practical usage, all three phones do well and are easy to use in sunlight or other bright conditions. In terms of viewing angles, the LG G6 and Samsung Galaxy S8 produce no color shift when viewed from extreme angles. However, we did see a slight shift on the Sony Xperia XZs. Viewing angles are good on all the three phones, but the Xperia XZs takes a slight hit due to the pinkish hue that appears from some angles. Our pick here is the Samsung Galaxy S8 though. Higher contrast is important and would impress most regular users because it is easier to spot than color differences. The Snapdragon 835 SoC is yet to be launched, but Samsung's Exynos 8895 is pretty much as powerful and efficient. Being built on the 10nm process gives it an edge over the Snapdragon 820 and the 821 on the Xperia XZs and the LG G6 respectively. That said, overall performance does not depend on that alone. Here the Galaxy S8 is ahead in terms of raw power, but only by a margin. The difference is slight enough to make the phone seem similar in terms of real-world performance. However, both the Galaxy S8 and the Xperia XZs clock ahead of the LG G6 here, thanks to the lesser software on that device. When using the three phones, the LG G6 was buggy and lagged often. The Sony Xperia XZs and the Samsung Galaxy S8 on the other hand were smooth and lag-free. Gaming performance is also better on those two phones, although Samsung returns the best score here. While the Galaxy S8 hit 60 FPS on games that would allow it, both Sony and LG's phones returned average frame rates of about 55 FPS with about 82% of stability. The benchmark reflects practical battery life in this case. All three phones will last for about a workday, but the LG G6 runs up to 16 hours of regular usage, while the Galaxy S8 is about 14 hours and the Xperia XZs last for 10 to 12 hours. In simple comparative terms, the Samsung Galaxy S8 is the best flagship right now. It is sleek, smart and powerful. Although we haven't yet compared the cameras on these three devices, our reviews suggest that the S8 is ahead here too, thanks to its low light prowess. The Galaxy S8 has the newest hardware, design and features in most cases. That said, you do have to spare a thought for both the other smartphones here. The Xperia XZs is behind the LG G6, but both phones have little room for complaints. For a Sony fan, the Xperia XZs has everything they like, with a few added tweaks. On the other hand, LG has produced a flagship that is functional, new and absolutely adequate. And adequate really is the right way to describe both the LG G6 and the Sony Xperia XZs. Thank you for tuning into Digit, and for more videos, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon to get all the updates.